Hi guys, welcome to .NET Mob. In this video, we will learn how to create a login page in ASP.NET Web application. So let's get started. Let me create a fresh ASP.NET Web application. For that, go to File, then New, and Project. Select ASP.NET Empty Web Application. Name your application here. In my case, I will name it as ASP.NET Login Page. Then select the location where you want to save the application, then click on OK. So here we have our brand new ASP.NET web application. Now let me add a web form for login page. For that, right click on the project, then add web form. Name the web form as login. Click on OK. So here we need to design our login page. For that, I will use a table tag. Inside that, first row will be the row for entering username, and each row consists of two columns, one for label, one for text box. And let me open the toolbox, and then I'm gonna drag one label and then one text box into the second column. Let me copy the row and pasting below that. So I pasted the row two times. So first row will be for entering username. So first label will be username. Then the text box ID will be txt username. And then second label will be password. And corresponding text box will be txt password. The last row will be used for the login button. In that case, first column will be empty. In the second column, we need a button for login. Let me drag the button and its ID will be btn login and text will be login. Finally, I would like to add a row for displaying error when user enter incorrect username or password. So I will use a label to show the error message, and its ID will be lbl error message, and text will be incorrect user credentials. Now I need to add a style for this table. For that, I can use style attribute equals margin as auto in order to center the table. Then I'm gonna add a border for this table 5px solid, then white color, and I need to add background color for the entire login page. Body background color as wheat. Let me switch to design mode. Login page design looks fine now, but we need to make this label foreground color to red. Let me switch back to source. For color equals red. That's it. Now I'm going to add a button click event for this button. For that, right click on it, then go to properties. Then here you can see a lightning symbol. Click on it, then double click on this click, so that it will create a button click event in the background. So here is the button click event for the login button. In order to work with a login and logout system, we need to have a database with user table. So let's create one user table now. Let me open my management studio. Here we have a database login DB. Inside that, we are going to create a new table. For that, right click on tables, then click on table. First column will be user ID and data type will be int, and then second column username as work 50, then password will be work 250, and then I'm gonna set this user ID as the primary key for the table. And in order to save the table, you can use the shortcut Control S, or you can click on this save button here. It will open a dialog box like this. Here you can enter the table name tbl user. Click on OK. In order to see the newly created tables, click on tables, then click on this refresh button. Here you can see the newly created user table. Right click on it, then edit top 20 rows. Now I am gonna add few test rows into this table. User ID will be 1, then username as user1, password will be 123. In order to save these rows, press enter. That's it. Now back to Visual Studio. First of all, we need to use these namespaces system.data.sql client and system.data in order to work with SQL Server database. Here we have our login form design. During user authentication, we will check is there any user with given username and password. If there is a user with given username and password, we will show him the dashboard. Otherwise, we will show this incorrect user credential message. So now let's do that. First of all, I will hide this error message during the page load. So it can be done like this: lbl error message dot visible equals false. Now inside this login button, click event, we will check whether the user name and password is valid or not. For that, you can do something like this using then SQL connection, an object of SQL con is created, new SQL connection. Inside that, we need to provide the connection string, and it will be something like this: data source equals local /sqle 2012, then semicolon, initial catalog equals db name login db, then semicolon, then integrated security to true, then a semicolon. Then inside the using block, we will write the query string query equals select count 1 from tbl user where username equals @username and password equals @password. That's it. So here we have used parameterized query. If you are going to concatenate the direct string from our username and password text box, there is a chance for SQL injection. So I used parameterized query here, and here I have provided the connection string. If you found any problem or to follow this connection string, I have done another video tutorial on how to connect SQL database from C#. I have put the video link in video description. Please go through that. And next we are going to create an object of SQL command SQL cmd equals new SQL command. Then first parameter will be the query, then connection object SQL con, and that's it. Then we need to pass the parameter values. For that, parameters dot add with value. Then we need to pass two parameter value, one for username and one for password. Let me copy the parameter name from here and pasting here. Same for password. And then here we need to pass the txt username text. Finally, I will use the trim function. We use trim function to avoid white spaces from both sides of the string. Same in the case of password. Instead of username, we use txt password. That's it. And I'm gonna declare a variable count equals convert to int32. Inside that, I will execute this SQL command dot execute scalar. So here inside this count variable, we will get the number of users with given username and password. If count is equal to 1, it means there is a user with given username and password. So user authentication is successful. So we can check like this: if count equal to 1, user is valid. So we will save the user details inside session with key username equals txt username dot text dot trim. So session is a dictionary inside ASP.NET web application. We can use these sessions to store values. Session is created to each logged in users. So each user has separate session. Finally, we will show him the dashboard page. For that, we can call the function response.redirect. As a parameter, we need to pass the page name dashboard.aspx. Now we need to create a page for dashboard. For that, right click on the application, then add web form. Name your form as dashboard, then click on OK. So we have created our dashboard page. Now back to login page. If count not equal to 1, we will show him the error message lbl error message dot visible equal true. Now we have created a login page in our ASP.NET web application. Now let me run the application. For that, click on this start button here. Now let me try to log in with a incorrect username and password. ASD and password ASD. Actually, we need to make this text box as dots. For that, we can change the design like this. Go to source, then text mode equals password. Now let me try to login. Click on this login button here. There is a error in our connection string. We need to change that into integrated security. So here we need to open the SQL connection, SQL con.open. Let me run the application again. Let me post incorrect password and username. Finally, it shows the incorrect user credentials. Now let me try to log in with the correct username and password. So it will be user1, password will be 123. Click on this login button. So now it shows the dashboard page. Now inside this dashboard page, I will implement logout button. For that, back to Visual Studio. Then this is our dashboard page. Let me drag one label, then a line break. For that I will put a break here, then a button. This label will be named as LBL user details. Text will be empty. Then I will name this button as btn logout with text logout. Let me switch to design mode. Right click on this logout button, then properties, click on events, double click on this click, and then inside the page load event we will set the user details in our label like this: user name equals. So we have saved the session here, that inside this key we have saved the user details or user name, and we will retrieve that here. You can do that like this. Let me copy the session. So inside this session we will have the logged in user name, and in the button click event, in order to log out a user, we just need to call the function session.abandon. It will clear all the session values, and then we will redirect the user to login page. Now let me run the application again. Username will be user1, password 123. Click on this login button. Now we are in dashboard. Here you can see the logged in user details, username as user1. If you click on this logout button, we will be logged out from the website. Let me click on this. Now we logged out from our application. Now we have to do one more thing. Now I actually am logged out. If I want to open the dashboard page, you can directly type the URL here, dashboard.aspx. It will open the dashboard page without any error. You can see that there is no user logged in, and in order to avoid this we can do something like this. Back to Visual Studio, then inside the dashboard page, stopping the application. Here we need to check whether user is logged in or not. For that we can use the session. If there is a value inside this username, it means there is a user. If it is null, it means there is no user. So we will redirect the user to a login page. Response dot redirect to login dot aspx. Let me run the application again. I'm trying to open the dashboard page. For that I will type the direct URL here, and so here you can see that we are redirected back to login page. That's it guys. In this video we have discussed how to create login page in ASP.NET with SQL Server database. We have discussed all the aspects of the topic. So finally we have a complete login and logout system in ASP.NET application. You can download this project with SQL Server script from the link given below in video description. That's for today. Please be subscribed to my channel .NET Mob for more awesome videos like this. Please like and share this video with your friends and colleagues so that they can benefit from this. Have a nice day. Bye.